All right, so what we're going to talk about is how to calculate anesthesia fees. When we start calculating anesthesia fees, what we need to, it's a very simple calculation where we take the total units of the and we multiply that by our conversion factor. What we have to calculate first is what our total units are. And there's several different things that go into that. Every single CPT code or every single anesthesia CPT code has its own basic value that's been assigned to it. There is a table that shows you what those anesthesia codes are in the back of your book, and you'll look up the code there. Then we look at time units. A time unit is based off of 15 minutes. How long was the patient under anesthesia? Then we have to look at the patient's physical status. We know that we have P1 through P5, and based off of the patient's physical status, we'll determine what P code they have. Not all P codes will have a value placed to it. Then we have the qualifying circumstance. Those are the qualifying circumstance codes, and those have also been assigned a base unit or a base value based off of what that particular code is. So when we can figure that all up, then we can go ahead and take our conversion factor, which is given to us by CMS, and it is based off of the locale what that conversion factor is. So let's start with an 86-year-old gentleman who was placed under anesthesia for 30 minutes. So there's our time unit. So he was placed under anesthesia for 30 minutes. And we know that our units for that is calculated at 15 minutes per unit. So if we were under anesthesia for 30 minutes, that's going to give us 2 units. The code that was charged by the anesthesiologist was 00300. And we know that that basic value for 00300 is 5 because we found that in our appendix. Also, the patient recently had an MI. So because he had an MI, the physician said that he had a physical status of a P3, which means that the patient has severe systemic disease. Because he has severe systemic disease, that we can add another base unit value to that. Then we also look at this qualifying circumstance. Because our patient is over 70 years old, he's 86 years of age, we can use 99100, which means that we have a patient of extreme age. That also gives us another unit. So now, once I have found these 4 things, I can now add up how many total units that we are going to multiply our conversion factor by. So 5 plus 2 plus 1 and 1 gives us 9. So I have a total units of 9. So my conversion factor, because this patient was in Birmingham, Alabama, and we look at our graph, tells us that our conversion factor is 21.37. So what I simply need to do is take my conversion factor of 21.37. I'm going to multiply it by the total units that I calculated for my patient, and when I do that, I come up with $192.33. So the fee that the anesthesiologist will charge the patient for being under anesthesia for 30 minutes with a CPT code of 00300 is $192.33.